What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to KO with Kyle. I'm your host, Kyle. Today we'll be doing a recap of UFC Fight Night, Kevin Holland versus Marvin Vettori, as well as a forecast of UFC Fight Night, Robert Whittaker versus Kelvin Gastelum. There's a lot to get into, so without any further ado, let's get into it. Starting off the fight night between Vettori and Holland, we had some pretty good prelims. Good to see Impa Kasanganay get back into the win column against a tough guy in Sasha Palatnikov. He went to his wrestling and did well with that. Da-Un Jung looked really good against William Knight. He got a unanimous decision. Luis Saldana squeaked out victory over Jordan Griffin. I thought it was really close. I thought you could easily score that fight for Griffin, so I was kind of surprised by that. Had a couple other good ones before the main card, where we had Mike Perry versus Daniel Rodriguez. Just a tough night out for Mike Perry. He was outboxed all 3 rounds. He landed a couple good takedowns, couldn't do much with it. He just didn't see that straight left coming from Daniel Rodriguez, tagged him over and over, damaged his face. I think his nose was busted. The side of his face had like some kind of laceration or protrusion or something like that. Mike Perry just had a rough night. Daniel Rodriguez looked really good. Next up at strawweight was Mackenzie versus Nina Nunes. I thought that Nina Nunes was going to be able to defend the submissions a little bit better than that, but when you're facing just such an expert, totally specialized in jiu-jitsu like Mackenzie Dern, it was just a sequence once she got her down and was attacking the arm, and Nina Nunes was doing everything she could to just survive the round and start back fresh on the feet, but Mackenzie Dern knew that it was 1 minute left in the round and running out of time, and she just cranked on that arm and got it, and Nina had to tap immediately. So that was a really good win for Dern. She'll be someone to look out for at strawweight. Next at middleweight, we had Sam Alvey versus Julian Marquez. Marquez looked really good. I mean, Alvey was throwing heavy shots. Alvey was coming off of a series of losses, so he really needed the win. Marquez hurt him with a combo that he threw, and then he choked Alvey out really bad. He wasn't even able to tap. He just went unconscious. He got him with like a rear naked choke without any hooks in. So big submission win for Julian Marquez. That's back-to-back submission wins for him. Next in the co-main event at featherweight, we had Arnold versus Sodique Youssef. I think this was like 2 really high-level guys. I mean, they're both ranked in the top 15. I think both of them could easily be ranked higher than they are. Allen looked really good. He's on an insane win streak right now. Youssef pressuring, had the heavier shots. I think landed the more shots overall. It was just a matter of Allen landing some really well-timed shots that rocked Youssef and almost put him out, but he had a pretty strong chin as well, so that went to decision, and it went to Arnold Allen by unanimous decision. In the main event, it was a little tough to watch after the first round. I mean, initially Kevin Holland was doing well, keeping distance, utilizing his range and reach advantage, and he was keeping distance with kicks and kicking different parts of Vettori. But then Vettori was able to land a takedown and just keep him on the ground. Essentially after that, Kevin Holland wasn't triangling the body on the ground and wasn't staying down. He was trying to get back up to his feet. It just wasn't successful, and Vettori went on to land takedown after takedown. In round 2, it was just all ground and pound the whole round. He cut Kevin Holland's eyebrow, and then his eye was bleeding bad. They asked him if he could see, and he was kind of joking around. There wasn't as much mouthing off, I guess you could say, from Kevin Holland this time around. He was a little bit more humble and quiet, but he was getting taken down over and over. Vettori, I think, got the record for 11 takedowns in one middleweight fight, which is more than had ever been done before. So Marvin Vettori looked really good. He'll get maybe a title shot, run it back with Adesanya. Maybe he'll get the winner of Robert Whittaker versus Kelvin Gastelum. He'll get maybe Darren Till. They'll reschedule that. It's hard to say, but Vettori is due for either a title shot or another really high-ranked opponent. So next, let's forecast the upcoming UFC Fight Night, where the main event is Robert Whittaker versus Kelvin Gastelum. Starting off the main card at lightweight, we have Alexander Munoz versus Luis Pena. Munoz has one unanimous decision loss to Nasrat Haqparast in his one UFC fight. Pena has 3 wins in his last 5 fights. Pena is 8-3 professionally. Munoz is 6-1 professionally. I'm picking Pena because of his height advantage and experience in the UFC. Next up at middleweight, we have Abdul Razak Alhassan versus Jacob Malkoun. Alhassan has many round 1 knockouts, and Malkoun got knocked out in round 1 in his first and only UFC fight against Phil Hawes. Alhassan has been knocked out as well, most recently by Chaos Williams. My main bet for this fight would be the under 1.5 rounds, as I think it'll be explosive. I'm picking the heavy favorite, Abdul Razak Alhassan. Next at heavyweight, we have Andrei Arlovski versus Chase Sherman. Sherman was in the UFC before, but he left after a record of 5 losses and 2 wins in 7 UFC fights. Arlovski is the former UFC heavyweight champ. Sherman has lost to a lot of lesser guys than Arlovski, so I'm picking the slight favorite, Andrei Arlovski. Next at lightweight, in our co-main event, we have Jeremy Stephens versus Jakar Closa. Stephens' UFC record is 15 wins, 17 losses, and 1 no contest. Closa's UFC record is 5 wins and 2 losses. Stephens has fought many top names and high-ranked competitors at featherweight. Stephens has 4 losses and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. Closa's wins over Bobby Green and Lando Venata lead me to believe he'll be up to the challenge for this one. Stephens shoved Closa at the weigh-ins, so this one will be heated. I'm picking the slight underdog, Jakar Closa. And then our main event at middleweight, we have Robert Whittaker versus Kelvin Gastelum. Whittaker is the former UFC middleweight champ. Whittaker won his season of The Ultimate Fighter at welterweight. Gastelum won his season of The Ultimate Fighter at middleweight. Whittaker has 4 wins in his last 5 fights. Gastelum has 3 wins in his last 5 fights. I don't think Gastelum will be able to control Whittaker with his wrestling, so I'm picking the favorite, Robert Whittaker. Kyle's Fight Picks. In Kyle's Fight Picks, I have Luis Pena, Abdul Razak Alhassan, Andrei Arlovski, Jakar Closa, and Robert Whittaker. Please subscribe so you never miss out on our timely content. And next week, we'll be recapping this fight night between Whittaker and Gastelum and forecasting the upcoming UFC pay-per-view with Usman Masvidal and Rose Namajunas versus Weili Zhang and Jessica Andrade versus Valentina Shevchenko. So that's a totally stacked card. We're going to do a preview of that one next time. So please again subscribe if you haven't already so that you never miss our timely content. And until next time, fight fans, peace.